How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Chuck Todd and NBC disrespecting Christians and Christianity in general as a religion on Chuck Todd's Sunday morning show, Meet the Press, which, by the way, was terrible timing. You just had a church shooting in Texas. Now here you are disrespecting Christians and Christianity. But different story, I digress. Before I even get into what he said specifically, let's roll the clip. In this clip, you'll see what he said. You'll see the context in which it was said. After we get done watching that, I'll come back. I'll talk about everything that was said in the video. I'll give you a little bit more info. I'll give you my analysis, my 2 cents, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
This morning, Meet the Press takes an in-depth look at our post-truth society and how a changing media landscape has created chaos out of order. You've probably never heard of a town in Macedonia called BASHES. This is the town where BuzzFeed discovered what was essentially a fake news farm. Some 140 websites pushing out made-up pro-Trump, quote, news stories written for Americans, not to help to elect Trump, the candidate, but simply to make money on Facebook. Well, since then, the idea of fake news has become a growth industry, morphing from simply a get-rich-quick scheme in a former Yugoslav republic to a political weapon in our nationalized politics. The terms alternative facts and truth isn't truth debuted here on Meet the Press over the last couple of years, but these ideas are not new. I want to read you guys a letter to the editor that we found in the Lexington Herald Leader. It was a fascinating attempt at trying to explain why some people support President Trump. Here's what he says. Why do good people support Trump? It's because people have been trained from childhood to believe in fairy tales. This set their minds up to accept things that make them feel good. The more fairy tales and lies he tells, the better they feel. Show me a person who believes in Noah's Ark, and I will show you a Trump voter. Look, this gets at something, Dean, that my executive producer likes to say is, hey, voters want to be lied to sometimes. They don't always love being told hard truths.
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, before we jump into what he said specifically, I must address the thing that could be the elephant in the room. Some are going to say, hey, ABL, that wasn't Chuck Todd or NBC giving the opinion in the letter as their opinion. They were just reading the letter. But see, that's a game that's being played by them. They'll try to say that. They'll try to say, oh, it wasn't me. I was just reading the letter. But Chuck Todd, you read the letter to prove a point about, fairy tales and believing whatever you want to believe is that and the third. Would you read the same letter about somebody that says Prophet Muhammad didn't really exist? And if you believe in Prophet Muhammad, that must mean you believe in other things that aren't true. Okay. You would not have read that letter, but you read it about Christians and Christianity. Therefore, you got to believe in it. If you did not read a letter that attacked a different religion to prove a point, then you can't read this one and say, oh, we really didn't mean that. If you didn't mean it, then you wouldn't have read it. You wouldn't have read anything else that attacked Islam or another religion that's considered, quote unquote, non-white. Although there are plenty of non-white Christians, but I digress. The whole point is that it seems to be okay to attack anybody that has faith in whatever they believe in if it is Christianity. When you're talking about Islam, oh, you can't talk about that. That's way off limits. It could be a terror attack. It could be an Islamic terror attack. The dude have on the big beard, a suicide vest, a note talking about I'm going to get 100 virgins, is that and the third. The media would try to stray away from it. They would say, oh, well, we don't know his religion. We don't know what happened. That's what they would do. They would protect and defend Islam. But then when it comes to Christianity, not so much. It's pretty clear. It seems like whoever wrote that letter has some anger built up in them that they've not been able to work out. Maybe they're mad at Christianity. Maybe they had a bad experience as a child in the church. Maybe they're Catholic and ran into a funny priest that was there. I don't really know what's going on, but it seems to be some kind of anger and frustration. And Chuck Todd and NBC reading that letter just legitimized that anger and frustration as far as them thinking the same way. They have made that anger and that frustration in that letter their own anger and frustration, and they have made that attack on Christianity their attack on Christianity. You can't say, oh, it wasn't me when you read a letter to prove a point. See, the whole point that was proven in their mind was that anything that Trump says, or a lot of what Trump says, or Trump as an idea, is fantasy. It's not really real. And if you believe in a thing like Noah's Ark, which in their mind is probably false, then you probably believe in Trump as well, who is also false. They're trying to make the correlation there. And I've been around these kind of individuals, these Chuck Todds of the world, these kind of ivory tower liberals on TV. And so I've been around them, and they kind of think like that. They don't really like Christianity. They look at it as like beneath them and not really necessary. I'm not even a Christian, and I can see that. I respect Christianity 1000%. I know that it helped or build the Western world, if not the sole driving force behind building the Western world. I understand that 100%. And I respect Christian people. They're so nice and giving and caring. Why would I go on TV and attack a religion? You don't have to be of that religion to not attack them. Chuck Todd, I don't know what he is, if he's Catholic, Jewish, whatever. I don't know what he is, but there's no need to go on TV and attack Christianity. Same thing with NBC. But you know what? This is further proof that Democrats have not learned their lesson. They've not learned a thing. In 2016, that particular campaign cycle, they attacked regular, everyday Americans on television all the time. Hillary Clinton with the famous deplorables line. Remember that? Basket of deplorables, half of Trump supporters this, half of Trump supporters that. You're attacking these people. You want to go to Ohio, in Columbus, where I got family, talking about, oh, we're going to take away jobs in coal. Excuse me? You're in coal country, and you're going to take jobs from coal? How was that a winning message? You're attacking these people. You don't even understand it because you spend so much time away from the people. You claim to be, representing the people and trying to do things in our best interest, but you don't even know us. You don't know what makes us tick and what is offensive. Maybe you don't understand that saying Noah's Ark is a fantasy, it's a fairy tale, is offensive. Or maybe you do, because like I said, you would not do that when it came to Islam. If you did that, there would be a severe consequence. And I think you know that. So you can talk about Christianity all day long. We're not going to come suicide bomb you because we're offended at what you say. We'll just vote a different kind of way. We'll just abandon you, as we have been doing for the past few years, and that trend will not stop as long as you guys keep doing what you're doing. And as long as the Democratic Party, those that are on the left, some are going to say, oh, Chuck Todd is not all Democrats. He's not running for office. It doesn't matter. They're all kind of in the same boat. We know that. We know that NBC, CNN, all the major networks aside from Fox for the most part are going to be anti-Trump and anti-conservative value, family, everything. We know that. And the more they keep doing things like this, it just proves our point. You can't say, oh, it's a conspiracy that NBC and all these other news organizations are against Trump and Trump supporters when you come on TV and say that the Noah's Ark was a fairy tale. Okay, you can't do that. When you come on TV and say that if you support coal, you're just a barbarian, we're taking coal jobs away, all this, that, and the third. You can't attack people and their culture, their faith, their religion, their life, and think you're going to be able to get them to come vote for you come 2020. Like I said, Chuck Todd is not a politician. He's not running for office. Neither are any employees at NBC, as far as I know, or anybody that has any shareholding stake in NBC, as far as I know. For one, let me know in the comments below. But it doesn't really matter. They're all part of the same movement to try and help the left win the election. Simple. Everybody knows that the mainstream media are in the bag for the left. But when they keep doing things like this, how are they going to gain any traction? This is part of the reason why Trump won in 2016. People got tired of being attacked and mocked and ridiculed for being themselves. How they grew up Christian, conservative, loving their guns, loving to, have marriage between one man and one woman. You want to come attack that? How are you going to expect anything positive to come as a result of it? I don't see how. They have not learned their lesson, and it's okay with me because them not learning anything will just help us in the future, not only in 2020, but from here on out. If they don't change their ways, if they keep buckling down and doubling down, This is not going to be a trend that ends anywhere in the near future as far as national elections are concerned. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that Chuck Todd was correct to say that about Christians and those that vote conservative? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or do you think that he was incorrect to say that? So was NBC for allowing it to be on their airwaves. Let's be clear. It ain't just Chuck Todd on television talking like the way I'm talking right now. You have a whole big organization behind them. You got writers, producers, editors, copy editors. You got a lot of different people with their hands in the pot when it comes to one line of text that Chuck Todd reads. Okay, so I don't want to hear no excuses. NBC as an organization failed on this one, and so did Chuck Todd for being the last line of resistance. If you see a thing that looks kind of odd and you really don't want to read it, you shouldn't. Take the high road, but he didn't. And then he went on to opine about fake news, talking about, oh, it's the right that's engaging in fake news. It's these troll farms trying to make money. No, it's you, Chuck Todd, engaging in the fake news, as are the rest of your cohorts in mainstream liberal leftist media. But whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.